Hey everybody, just setting some stuff up. Giving some other folks the chance to join as well. Let me see. Hey, Z. Just a second. Videos. Let me see. Okay. I need to open this this live stream on my computer so I can read the stuff better. I always have trouble finding it. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, and then we can start doing something. Okay, and then Yep. Hey, Stuart is here too. Hi, everybody. Oh, that's an average turnout. 2 people. We're used to that. Yeah, I'm working on sort of boosting attendance, but it's hard. But I think the first step was to make it on a set day of the month. So every first Sunday of the month, I'll do one in the morning, at least here it's morning, and then I'll do one in the evening so that more people can join. And it's also something that, it's easier to remember than just random dates every first Sunday of the month. So I'm happy with that. Let me see if I can fire up Addictive Drums. I have some drum sound in case there are questions about drumming, and then we can get started. Let me see. So yeah, so if any of you have a question, please feel free to start typing while I set this up, and then we can get started right away. And otherwise, I'll tell a little story, and then we can get started after. Let me see. There we go. I think that was it. So far, so good. Yeah, so while I'm setting this up, this is going to be the last live stream in this office because you guys cannot really see that, but the rest of the house is more or less empty because we're in the middle of moving, and that's why I've been quite busy and not posting anything on YouTube. I was planning on doing that, and then you realize, like, no, that's always a mistake. There's never time to do stuff while you're moving. Hey, hello there. Oh, that's a bunch of letters that I can't read, but welcome. Awesome. Jason. Okay, great. Hey, Jason. Welcome. So, wow, it's a great turnout. We're 3 of us. And let me put this up. So yeah, I've been working on moving to a new studio. It's gonna look great. It's hopefully also gonna sound great. And the movers are coming. And what I did over the past few weeks, because this move was coming closer, it was like I was already busy recording a new course, a new grooving and improving course with a lot more songs and a lot more videos. It's actually going to have, I think, 30 videos instead of 6. So it's way bigger. And I had it all planned out. And then I realized, oh, I have to finish recording this before my studio is empty, because then all the panels, all the acoustic stuff, everything will be removed. My camera setup, and I don't know how long it will take before I have everything set up again. So I decided, okay, I'm just gonna go all in. I'm gonna record the new course, and I recorded 30 videos in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and it's gonna look and sound great, and it's gonna be a lot better and a lot more fun to play along to. I'm actually gonna make a large part of it for patrons, and not it's not going to be free anymore in its entirety, because that's way too much content to give away for free. I actually talked about that with Stuart. So yeah, I'll be releasing that, I think, in the next 2 weeks or something. So all I have to do is montage it and upload it, and then it's ready. So yeah, that's what I've been up to over the past few weeks, and yeah, I hope you guys are doing well as well. And maybe you have a question, maybe you've been practicing or doing something, and feel free to ask, and I'll answer it. Very happy with the turnout, by the way. 3 people. Yeah. Right. Yes, exactly. So uh, uh, that's why the YouTube videos have sort of collapsed. Uh, the YouTube um, the YouTube stuff, but that will come back. I actually have a great plan for the YouTube things, uh, and but I'm gonna be starting that in the next studio. Okay, so Z has been practicing daily, and it's addictive, no pun intended, because of addictive drums. That's pretty cool. Um, all right, yeah. So the David Haynes style, yeah. So as far as I, as far as my practicing and developing as a musician is going, I've been practicing a little bit, and I've learned a lot of stuff, but I'm not quite there yet, in the sense of like I don't feel like I could record another course about advanced techniques apart from the one that I already have, because I'm still sort of trying to get to a next level with the drumming, and for that I need some peace and quiet. I need a routine, and Z just said like he's been practicing daily, and that's something that I need to do as well if I want to get to a higher level. What I found, like when I was practicing guitar on the conservatory, and when I was trying to improve as a musician, what I found was that in a way, like if you want to get better at playing an instrument, it's like this: like you open a door, and then you're in a large hallway, and then the hallway is basically your progress, right? And the first door is pretty easy to open. You open it up, you can't play anything, and you start practicing, and that's when you start walking through the hallway. And then when you're and when you're doing that, you're noticing progression. It goes fast, it goes smooth, and every day that you're walking, you can see, oh, I walked a long way. And that's what happens when you start out. But then at some point, if you reach a certain level, that's basically just the equivalent of like that you encounter another door in the hallway, and it takes some time and some force to kind of to 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 break it open. And after you did, then there's a short period of smooth sailing again, where you're walking and things are going well, and it's quite easy to improve. And I found that with guitar, that happened a lot to me, and now with finger drumming, for me, that's sort of the point where I am. I'm pretty good at it. I can do a lot of stuff. I've improved a lot, also by just making videos. But if I really want to take it to the next level, go to where David Haynes, for example, is at this point, which is another level also of intuitive playing and just improvising and all that type of stuff. I need to spend some time breaking down another pretty big steel door, and that will take a daily work. So that's what I'm working on. Uh, but that might be interesting for you guys to know, that that's something that everybody encounters, and you're gonna always have these little plateaus. So you're going up, plateau, and then keep pushing, and then like that's how it goes usually. And it might feel as if you're sometimes even going down, but that basically never happens. That's just a feeling. Ah, great, the breakbeat course. Yeah, very happy with that one breakbeat course. That's a good one. Maybe I should make a follow up at some point. I have this great if you like the breakbeat course, uh, the book's already in a box, but I have this great book called the Breakbeat Bible, and it's written by some uh, drummer. And if you're okay with reading drum notation, which is not that hard to read, that might be a book that you could purchase because it's really great. And there's I think there's a lot of breakbeat stuff in there. Also breakbeat exercises, all kinds of great breakbeats. So if you can't wait for me to release another breakbeat course, then the Breakbeat Bible might be something for you. Let me see. The Breakbeat Bible. Yeah, here, this is it. The Breakbeat Bible, written by Mike Adamo. That's something that helped me a lot when I started out. So that's a tip for you. Yeah. No, I get it. Stuart says no rush here, just interested in my progress, David Haynes. I get that. No, of course. No, there's no rush. I don't feel the rush, but I am a bit I am looking forward to presenting everybody, you guys and the world with some new virtuoso material. Also on my instrument, I'm really looking forward to waking up, making myself a cup of coffee with my new espresso machine because that's what I'm gonna buy in my new house because that's what I want. I have a new beautiful kitchen, and gonna make myself a cup of coffee and every day practice and become a lot better in playing my instrument. I'm looking forward to that period in time. And by the way, just so you guys know, I'm a musician. I don't want to set any give anybody false expectations. I'm a musician. I've been a professional musician my whole life, and I'm moving to another house, and it's pretty chill. But that's basically because my girlfriend makes money, not me. At least I make money, but I would not be able to afford the nice kitchen in the house where I'm moving. So just so you know, if you're going on the path of musicianship, find a wealthy girlfriend or a boyfriend. I don't think there's women in the live stream right now. Okay, Z asks. Let me see. Oh, and then Jason also says something. Yeah, exactly. Jason agrees with me that you improve very fast in the beginning, and then it starts to diminish, right? And that's the thing. At some point, you will still notice a large improvement when you look back, like 6 months ago or something. In a period of 6 months, 1 year, you will always notice a big improvement. But that weekly or daily improvement thing that will go away because at some point you can do so many things. All the skills that you have to acquire are very um, heavy skills, so they'll need more time to develop. And then Z asks, I work with my hands. When I can't practice rhythms on the table, I run a metronome in my earphones and imagine playing on the higher speeds that I can't do physically. Is this a good way to practice? Um, it is, as long as you uh, have a way of correcting yourself. Because like imagining that you can do something, like like for example, just to give you a stupid example, but sort of imagining that you can do something doesn't necessarily mean you can do it, because the difference is that you have to be very accurate in order to really do it. For example, if I would say, hey, I'm a jazz saxophone player, right? I'm John Coltrane. I'm gonna play a jazz solo. I'm just messing around. I feel like I'm a great trumpet or saxophone player when I do that, but it's not actually something, right? So that there's something you have to always keep in mind. Or with drumming, if I just imagine like, oh, right, I'm the best drummer in the world, something like that. If I would imagine doing that, I don't know if that would actually improve my playing, but I can imagine the more simple beats with a metronome that would help. And also something you can do if you're on the road, so you don't have time to drum on, you don't have room to drum on the table, but you're just putting in your earphones and you want to improve your rhythm. I think just developing your inner clock is a very good thing to do. And what I would do is, for example, if you met if you can, for example, snap your fingers or just say something like tick or something like a little tick. Let me get a metronome over here. Here's one. Yeah. metronomeonline.com. I'm going to give you a little example because this is a great thing to do. So for example, if you a regular tempo for a metronome would be 92 BPM. This is a pretty normal tempo, right? And I could just snap along to this or play beat. Boom, chat, boom, chat, boom, chat, boom, chat. That's pretty cool. But what you can do is first cut this thing in half. So basically put this around 46. So in a way, this is the same speed if you fill in the blanks. We're still at 92. And then I can't screw up, right? I have more room to speed up or slow down accidentally. Boom, da, boom, boom, da, boom, boom, da, da, boom, da. And then, if you're a true boss, you could even put it slower. Well, at like 23. Let me see if I have like this metronome online cannot do that. I want to give you a little demonstration though. We have a metronome here. Yeah, I do. Metronome here. Let's put it at so we had it at 46, which is half of 92. We're going to put it at 23. Let me see if I can do that. 23, set, play. So now it's divided by 4. 92, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, I was slow. See? 2. There we go. Now I can. This is a great thing to do. And it's something you can do also with your mouth. You don't have to snap your fingers or try and say a beat out loud. Boom, a boom, chat, doom, doom, chat, doom, chat, doom, doom, chat, boom, boom, chat, doom, doom, chat, boom, tiki, 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 boom, chat, doom, doom, chat, boom, boom. If you can do this with your mouth, in a way, it's gonna. This is the essence, right? If you can do this, you just have to teach your fingers, but you're half the way there. So that's a very good on the road or when you don't have your pad controller, work on your inner clock. That's my advice. Let me read some stuff. Hey, Jason used the same app. That's a good one. I like it. It's good. Okay, so Robin asks, I'm doing the beginner course that's broken down into weeks. Do you move on to the next week regardless of how good you've been at that week's lesson? That's an interesting question. First of all, I'm working on a beginner course that the grooving and improving course, and instead of weeks, I'm trying to do daily lessons. Not really daily, but like 4 times a week lessons. And the idea is that you show up, you just do the assignment of that particular lesson, and if things are going well, the next day you move on to the next one. So that's a little bit of a simpler system, and that actually kind of tackles this problem of like, how do you know when you can move on? And by creating this longer course of 30 lessons, I have a little bit more time to specifically name the obstacles of that particular lesson or that particular exercise, and then say when you should move on. The thing with moving on, regardless of how good things have been going, my philosophy on it, and the stuff that I'll also say in the new course that I'm recording, is that if you feel like you're completely confused and in a way you do not understand at all what's happening, and you're doing it, but it feels like you're speaking in a language that you totally do not understand, then you might want to keep practicing a little bit. But if, for example, you can play the beat, but you're speeding up a little bit, or you can play the beat, but sometimes you miss a note or a pad doesn't trigger. You can play the beat, but it doesn't sound super groovy yet. Those types of things, they're not an obstacle to just moving on to the next lesson. Why? not because you have to, not because you're allowed to be sloppy forever, but as a beginner, you're just not going to get your beats sounding professional. Not in the beginning. So if you're very perfectionist, and I have this too with my, for example, my guitar students. Some guitar students come in and they're going to play a song, a simple song, and then they're like, "Yeah, I've been practicing for 3 weeks, and I still have this little buzz note sometimes, or I can still not this G chord. I can play it sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't sound perfectly right." And then I always say, "Yeah, those things that will happen, but you need a couple of months, maybe a year of practice under your belt before you can really take those types of things to the next level." So it is hard though to decide when should I move on, when should I stick with the stuff. I would say total confusion uh, and not understanding what has to be done. Stick with it for a maximum of 2 weeks, maybe 3 at most, depending on how much you practice. If you practice 4 times a week, then I would not stay with an exercise for more than 2 weeks. And because if things are still confusing at that point and you cannot do anything, then maybe you want to try the next lesson and see if that one works for you. Because some beats are just easy to play, by themselves for some people. Some beats aren't. So that's an important thing to realize as well. I hope this was clear. I've been talking for a long time about this, and this is hard, right? This is the moment where video lessons or something that's pre-recorded is actually this is the moment where this falls a little short, because when you would have a real teacher, the teacher would say, "You know what, let's move on now," or, "You know what, do this for another week." And that's something I cannot do unless we have a personal tutoring program going. So yeah, but the new course, the new grooving and improving course will make this decision making a lot easier. Let me see. You said you filmed something new. Is there anything we need to cover, though I have already finished some old courses? Um, well, the new course that I'm filming is meant for, if you did the beginner course, it should be the first course after that one, or it can be. But what's nice about it is that it has 6 backing tracks, 6 original backing tracks that I created, different styles, completely new, and I really worked hard to make them all groove. And there's I give students all kinds of versions, like with a metronome, without a metronome, with like a beat layered on top of it, so you can layer your beat on top of the backing track. So what I think is that basically everybody who is doing the courses on the website right now will want to have a look there and just start in lesson number 1. And if lesson number 1 is way too easy, or you don't like the song or the beat, then obviously you can just skip ahead if you're already capable of doing some of the stuff. But also in every section, after we learn the beat, a fill, and we play along to a backing track, I have one lesson with bonus assignments. And some of the bonus assignments are actually pretty challenging. And that's what I did specifically for people who, for example, musicians like me, who could already play guitar and then learn a new instrument like finger drumming. They might want to get something that's a little bit harder. I did some crazy assignments about well, you'll see when I release the course in 2 weeks. But so yeah, you might want to take a look there, no matter where you are right now in your career. All right. Ooh, that's loud. Does anybody have another question for me? I'll just play something. Do I always practice standing up? Um, no, I started sitting down like a normal person, like a in a normal chair height. Then I got myself a little bar stool and I sat up a little bit higher. That's what I usually do for filming. Um, but the one thing that I noticed and something I'm going to do in my new studio actually is that I have a standing desk so it can go up high. And I'm going to also elevate my speakers so that when I'm standing there at ear height, so that I can basically do everything standing up. Why? Because I'm 33 years old right now, and I noticed for the first time in my life that my neck is sort of starting to hurt, and my back. I don't have great posture when I sit down. I do this, and it's not the best. And I'm at a certain age right now where I have to start looking out for those types of things if I want to be a nimble 50-year-old at some point. So that's my mission is to to do basically everything standing up. One other thing, what I notice with standing up is that when I'm working, so when I'm mixing a song, I usually spend the whole day mixing a song. I can be very obsessive about my work, and if you stand up after 2 hours or something, you get tired. And I think that's a good thing because you want to take a break, right? Every hour, every 2 hours, you want to take a break and zoom out, take sit down or have a drink, eat something. So for me, it's also a way to force myself to take breaks and not work for 8 hours without food and without rest, because I guess that's also just bad for you. So, but there's no advantage in terms of like speed of finger drumming or something, or I haven't found that yet. At least it's just for me personally and my neck and my back and you know my health. Stuart says, "Oh, so old." Yeah, yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think I'm old. I'm just a careful dude because I know, for example, my mom and my dad. I remember as a child that at some point they all had back problems, and then they would go start to go to yoga and see a physiotherapist, and I'm like, I don't want to go to yoga when I have back problems. I want to go to yoga before I have back problems, right? That's my thing. Yeah, go get some exercise. Uh, yeah, Jason likes the challenges. Yeah, of course. I think everybody's different. Some people want to just go fast. They want to learn a lot, and it's about not learning it that well, but just kind of get a lot of information in and then process it. And other people wanna if they learn something, they want to get to the bottom of it. So yeah, I created the new course is sort of going to cater to both people because I have these bonus challenges that where you can really zoom in on stuff and really challenge yourself, maybe take on something that's a little bit too hard, and but that's fun for some people, and some people don't want to do that. So I I, I thought about that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So do I tend to play certain pads with certain fingers? Because Robin noticed that my left hand moves much more around the pads compared to the right. Well, the reason for that is that um, my my main way of playing involves usually that the on beats are all played with the same hand, all played with my dominant hand, my right hand. So basically, my dominant hand lays down the backbone of the beat, and I can just do that with one hand. And then the left hand can play other stuff, and it has a lot more time. It doesn't have to do stuff all the time, so that's why it's more nimble and it can go everywhere. Obviously, it cannot do that always. If I would play a beat like this, that's another style of playing. Then the right and the left hand are equals. There's not necessarily one method is not necessarily better than the other. I think at some point you want to probably be able to do both. I do think it's a really great way to start out with playing backbone beats with your dominant hand, filling in the gaps with left, or adding some exotic sounds and having the freedom to do so. So, but at some point, I do feel the left hand and the right hand, you want to get them closer together. So that's what I'm working on right now. Actually, if you're talking about what stuff am I working on right now, that's the stuff I want to develop more. And when I figured it out in a way that I'm satisfied with, I will obviously, create some courses that help other people to go to that point. But again, I am convinced that the best way to start out is this way, where the non-dominant hand does a little bit less, because that will give you it has you making real music basically from the start, and I think that's very, very important. Whereas this other technique basically involves a lot of practicing before you're actually playing something, and I think that's not a good idea. I want people to be able to play to real music very, very soon, because I think a lot of musical development happens over here and in your brain and not in your hands. So, but that's something that's yeah, that's what I believe. Jason says, by the way, go get some exercise. If you're talking about being fit, I don't know if that was a response to that, but yeah, I will get some exercise. I'm actually going to do CrossFit. In my next to my new house is a CrossFit gym. I already did that before. That was the strongest I ever was. That's when I met my girlfriend too. I think she's a bit disappointed now in how strong I am. I used to be way stronger, so I'm gonna go and do that again. And I already signed up for the beginner class because I think I have to start from the bottom again. But yeah, you'll probably maybe a couple of months from now when I do YouTube videos, you'll see that I'm swole and I'm more strong. Looking forward to that actually. All right. Any other questions? It's very nice, by the way. It's the five of us, including me. That's a great turnout. So it's already going a lot better than before. So yeah, very happy with that. All right. Well, while people play, oh, hey, questions. Five is a record. Yeah, it's five people is a record. Yeah, I think it's one more than the previous record. So we broke another record. You know, there's an upward trend going on. Very happy about that. And while people try and type some more questions, I will give you guys a little studio tour because this is the last time we'll ever see the studio. So I'm just gonna go and show you people where I work. Let me go in through the door just so you see what it is. So this is the door, the hallway, studio. We can go in, and then this is the window that has the camera in front of it. So that's why I get like nice daylight. And this is my desk. Let me see if I can film that. So this is where I work. It's a pretty small room, as you can see. Those are lights in the back there. See, lights for filming, and then a little piano. And this is the back room. See, there's acoustic panels everywhere. I have two expensive Neumann mics. These are very expensive German mics, but they're great. This is my other Neumann mic. And then I have a bunch of speakers, right? So let me see. These are very good studio monitors. Very happy with those. And then they're on these big stands. And I have to figure out a way to elevate the speakers even more in my new office. But as you can see, there's a lot of acoustic treatment in the room. That's great for mixing, but also great for recording. I really like the way my voice sounds on the film, on the lessons and on YouTube movies. And that's basically for a large part because of the room, because the room is just a professionally treated room, and that's why I can also sit pretty far away from the microphone I'm not using the professional microphone now, by the way, but I can sit far away from the professional mic, and things usually still sound pretty good. So yeah, yeah. I just wanted to show you guys that because I'm gonna miss the room, but just so you know. Because YouTube saves this movie, so then I can see it a couple of years from now. I can see, oh yeah, that's where I used to work. The new place is gonna be way more awesome, by the way. It's gonna it has a great brick wall, so that's also cool for as a YouTube backdrop. All right, does anybody have any questions? And otherwise, uh, I can also play piano. Just Jason asks if I can play piano. No, I have one because when I was studying at the conservatory, you had to take mandatory piano lessons, so you had to buy a piano, and that's when I bought one. I can only press a few keys and do. I can fake it a little bit, but it's not good. It's by far the least instrument. It's I don't know how to say that in English, but I can't do it that well. No, and I also decided that I'm not going to practice it because I'm gonna all the piano type of stuff will be done on my instrument. I think I really like the way this thing is laid out, how it works, and I already practiced some songs on it. And I think if I have a few months to practice on this thing daily, uh, I'll be able to play a lot of piano parts on this, and you know, and more because it's a very expressive instrument. So. Hmm. So, any other questions? And otherwise, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'll be back tonight. Obviously, 9 p.m. probably for most of the Americans. So, so that would be fine with me. I'm just gonna give you guys a moment to think. If there's another pressing thing on your mind, then I'll be there. Stuart says, "Have a great day." So, you too, Stuart. Have a great evening. Let me see. What am I gonna play? Let's try and play Pretty Shuffle. Shit. It's Rosanna, right? That's something I should do. That's a good lesson. You need to be able to do the Mahler technique. That's a pretty advanced thing, and I haven't talked about yet. Well, gotta work on that, but might be a cool one to do. Hey, Z says, yeah, I'll be back later today. That's great. Robin says, thanks for the help doing melodics. Yes. Oh, that's great. So that my lessons helped you push through the barrier after doing melodics. Yeah. You know what? I like melodics. I like the gamification of music. I think it really helps you to practice and have these small bursts of things in with some feedback from a computer program. I think all those things are great. I like the people there too. They're great from New Zealand. Very nice folks. But I do think that basically my videos, the human factor plus melodics, they're complementary in a way. I don't think we're competing in that sense, because you know uh, if you I don't know that's a bit of like a little bit of virtue ethics, right? You can teach somebody how to play soccer by explaining or by just giving them little ball exercises, but you also want to take them to a soccer match or have them watch somebody who can play soccer, right? Or it was a great player. And I think that's something that I want to provide with the Quest for Groove. Like every time I give people an assignment, I will play it as well. I will do the assignment. You can see me do it. And I think that's an aspect that Melodics doesn't have. It just gives you the assignment and there's no real human doing it. And I think that plus some human interaction and explaining will make it very complementary and will make help people together with melodics to grow as musicians. So yeah, very glad to hear that, Robin. Very nice. So okay, guys, I'm gonna call it a day or call it a morning, and I'll be back later. So great that you were here, and if you have any questions in the meantime, right, I'll be back obviously tonight and then the first Sunday of July. But in the meantime, feel free to drop me an email or anything, and I'll just answer it. And so you're not alone. I'm here with you all the way.